right?
Yeah.
Is that they're not all of age. And like sometimes it's hard to tell, bro.
Like
the TikTok girls are not usually of age.
Like they're usually 15 or 16 years old, and they look like they're 21, 22.
It's like an adolescent base. So like there's a lot of girls who are like 17, 16 that they look like they're in college and they dress like they shouldn't be dressing. Like 16-year-olds shouldn't be dressing like that, you know?
That's clickbait, my friend.
It is clickbait as good as it comes.
That's clickbait, my friend.
It is.
You don't want to get yourself caught up in that, man.
It's just crazy to me that TikTok's so big with just those dances. Like they just go out there and they're dancing and they're just having a.
It blows
my mind. You know what I'm talking about? Do either of you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Now, do you have a TikTok?
I do. Yeah.
Tom, do you have a TikTok?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I do not have a TikTok. That's not. I just never downloaded. I never got big into it. Like
You're the epitome of an old man.
I'm sorry.
You really are like
really
an old man that we consider, and the fact that you don't have TikTok,
they all
solidifies that even more.
I'm sorry. I never saw any use for it. You know, I have my usual Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. You know, my 4 apps that I run through. But I never ventured off into TikTok. I mean, Vine was cool back when that was a thing.
I was about to ask that. Did you have Vine?
Yeah,
Did you have Vine?
I had Vine for a little bit.
You didn't have Vine, but you got on the
Vine
TikTok.
Was funny,
right?
dude.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be on TikTok at all.
Okay.
I honestly just like gave in.
You just gave in.
Yeah, like everybody.
Explain
just,
that.
Like people just like keep sending you videos, and then eventually you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's download it. Let's see what's on it.
So what you're saying is basically we need to start sending Jack as many videos as possible, so that way he eventually gets TikTok.
No, I wouldn't peer pressure him into something like that.
See, thanks, Tom. You're a good friend. I appreciate it.
I think I'm a better friend.
Jacob, on the other hand, is trying to press his lifestyle on me. I'm just kidding.
I made him throw in a pinch with me. That's about as much peer pressure as gonna get. But it's not even peer pressure because you choose every day.
I was say he choose. We've talked about dipping on the pod. We talked actually last time I had him as a guest. We talked about
it on the
dipping
last
for
podcast.
literally the last first 30 minutes.
Yeah, matter of fact, yes, we did.
Both of you are big dippers. You've been in for a while too.
Since I was in high school, yeah.
Country boy.
Country
boy. Look at that zoom in on the spit. There it is.
Nice.
I can feel it on my lip. Can you see it?
Yucky.
Yeah.
No.
Yucky.
No.
Like I said, though, a majority of the time, only when I'm on the ball field, and I only had one dip all day today. I was at the baseball
You're at the ball field.
6
I loved how you started with that last time. You're like, oh, only when I'm on the ball field. And I was like, you know what? That's fucking good. And then I go, wait a minute. You're on the ball field every day.
I'm there all the
You're
time.
playing.
Yeah,
you're playing ball every day.
Just about every day, every other day.
Well,
yeah.
I don't chew tobacco very often anymore. So it's kind of like I maybe get one a day.
That's good though. You're starting to wean yourself off of it. We talked about this last time. Kids, you should never ever try tobacco in the first place because it's extremely difficult to get yourself.
I don't even necessarily tobacco as much as it is the nicotine.
Process.
Like, just don't deal with nicotine.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. It's like, once you get over like when you try to quit. So like I did quit for a while. I didn't chew for probably about 7-8 months.
Good for you. That's tough.
The hardest part is to like stop spitting.
Yeah,
it's
just a natural. It's just a habit after a while.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were saying with cigarette smokers, they're used to like constantly putting it up to their mouth and yada yada. So like they have trouble like you're just
my
great.
spit's all sticky.
They have trouble like with that, like not having something to put up to their mouth. That's where like the jewels and shit come into play. Is like they're supposed to help with that, but now people just full on addiction.
They do anything quote unquote.
People just
for
hit
clout.
that like it's no tomorrow. But yeah.
What's the biggest thing you've done for clout? If you can think of a time in your life, it doesn't have to be recent. It could literally be when you were like in middle school. What it was something you did for clout because you were like, that's what the cool kids do.
So this is like something to gain attention, gain popularity.
Yeah, I think everyone.
Social status,
I think everyone's done it at some point. I don't think anyone can say they've never done it. You might grow out of it quicker than most people, but like you've done it at some point. I'm convinced of it. Everyone's done it at some point.
Last year at my girl Ann's birthday party, I jumped through a table because there was a camera on me.
I was thinking like something you did, like bought or
that's
or wore, but that's something you did
like
physically.
Like something you
I
do
did.
like
It was
socially
awesome.
is what you're asking?
I mean, yeah, we might as well go into that. He's saying he ran into a table.
Jumped through a table.
I apologize.
Never sent you that video. It was actually kind of cool.
No, we should get that up though.
Yeah, I can pull it up. I think I probably still have it somewhere.
Well, I mean, we can't. We'll
I
figure it out.
really-
We'll figure it out.
Honestly,
I'll look
dude,
at it
like,
later. If we find it,
We'll show it to us off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
honestly though, like, I don't think I have, like, really brought myself out of my comfort zone to really fit in with anybody. Like, I've definitely done like crazy shit, but like, it's pretty unique.
Tom, I've seen some wild videos.
I've seen some wild videos
of you up at Alma. So I don't know
Yeah.
if I buy
Okay,
any of the
okay, but, like-
nonsense you're
I've
trying to
never
pitch right
done
now.
anything
Okay,
to
but the
social
thing
media.
Oh, I've
like-
never done anything too
But, like,
crazy.
so,
I could
like,
name,
it
like,
wasn't the
senior
popular
year.
thing to do.
Tom's usual Saturday night was pretty.
Okay, it might not have
It
been
was
the
always
popular thing
pretty
to do,
exotic.
but don't get me wrong. Like they were, like I can remember like specifically with cigarettes that you were doing
Oh, dude.
something one night to
Yeah,
yeah.
here we go. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Not when you put it like that. Put it like this. Put it up.
Like, it's on my forearm.
Put it like this. Yeah,
Oh,
you can kind of see the dot.
You kind of see the
kinda
little dot.
dot.
You see the dot.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. Turn around. Yeah.
So Tom, what happened there?
Tell us that story. Tell us your Clout story there, because
So-
that was for Clout at the time.
Mhm.
It was that was probably before we even called it Clout.
That was before we called it class.
That's
That was
before it
just
was Clout.
that was
That
just
was what, senior year in high school?
senior year. Yeah.
That was probably prom night.
That was just cause. For
I don't
shits
think
and
it
gigs.
was, because I wasn't there.
Okay, so
I got videos of it.
yeah, basically, I was smoking some Black and Milds.
Great start to the story.
And,
It's always a great start. I was
And-
cheaping
Best
some
start to
blacks.
this story.
we were obviously.
I love how
drinking-
that's like
we're
we used to
obviously
have those as
drinking
kids.
underage,
Black
you
and
know?
Milds. Now
We were
that's like
drinking
poor people and
underage.
stoners.
Of course. Back when we was in
And,
high school.
for whatever reason, I told somebody that like I'd do it, and then they're like, "No, you won't." And then I did it, you know. And then I was trying to get other people to do it.
So that was a Black and
Other
Mild.
people
That
were
wasn't
doing
just
it.
like a regular cigarette.
I thought it was a regular cigarette.
No,
yeah,
it was a Black and Mild.
So that sucker's a little thicker then, huh?
Yeah.
that makes it worse.
Nice.
But yeah,
Always
I was
makes for a
trying to
good war
I was trying
story.
to get other people to do it because like one person
So he
like
did it to
wanted to
himself
do
twice.
it, and then one person like clearly wanted to do it but didn't, and like
Dude, I think they just pranked you into doing it. They were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we'll
Why-
do it with you, bro, for sure."
Why-
whatever it was, dude. I had to do more to get other people to do it because people didn't believe me that I was doing it.
I know you have like 3 or 4.
It was cool. It was cool.
Mhm.
Why encourage other people to also harm themselves? However,
It's not bad.
Can you go off on that one?
What?
Why would you tell other people to harm themselves, as in
Look.
like burn themselves with a cigarette?
Look,
Okay.
don't tell anybody to do something you're not willing to do. That's just fucked up.
That's a pretty good
All right.
rule. That's a pretty good rule
All
right
right,
there.
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
That's just fucked up, dude.
I like
Yeah.
that. If
Like,
you're not
don't go
willing to
tell-
do it,
Don't go tell somebody to
going-
jump off a
yeah.
fucking bridge if you're not willing to do it too. That's
I like
bullshit.
that.
you
I like
you
that
better
rule.
be
That's a
side
new
by
rule to
side
live
with
by
them on
right
that
there.
bridge. You better be
Yeah,
right
dude.
there next to him.
I
Yeah.
dig that.
I mean,
Don't.
And now I'm like thinking about scenarios in my life where I told people to do shit and if I like would have done it or not.
I think Michael Jordan said that one time. I think it was in his documentary. I like that though. I do.
Michael Jordan's documentary is fucking wild. It's fucking motivational as hell.
I'll tell you what. That just cements his spot as the greatest of all time.
He's like,
it really
Yeah.
does for me.
I
Like,
pass you the fucking ball, make the shot.
It's just his mentality. It's the way he goes about it.
Imagine getting the ball and being like, okay, like I'd be so much more nervous. I think
yeah.
because he'd be like, just fucking do your job, make the shot. And I'd be like, I'm trying, like fucking throwing it up there.
Who is the better two-sport athlete, him or Bo Jackson?
Or me.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't me.
Michael
Get outta
Jordan
here.
played baseball. He also played basketball. Bo Jackson played baseball. He also played football.
You're right.
There's only one obvious answer. It's Bo Jackson.
It's Bo Jackson.
Probably.
It's
yeah.
definitely Bo Jackson. He's the greatest athlete of all time, arguably.
I was trying to think of other people. There's not many other people that do the dual sport, so it's kind of hard to compare like athlete to athlete
Absolutely.
wise. The only thing that I've always thought about is like, I think baseball players, ironically, have the better athleticism than most, and you probably like to hear that. You
course
probably
I
don't like
do.
to hear that, but I think that because I've seen baseball players play all of their sports,
Yeah.
but you very rarely see people that play like basketball or football also play baseball.
I want to see y'all try to step in the box.
I think the.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Oh yeah, dude. I know I can't. I'll
yeah.
tell you that.
And I
right
mean
now.
like because it's not. I'm not talking about like fielding a ground ball. I mean like trying to hit a 90-mile-an-hour
Well,
fastball.
try
Like,
to hit 90 mile
I
an hour
think
fastball.
I
It's
think
tough.
the probably second closest athlete I would say a soccer player.
Soccer player, they're in pretty good
I
shape.
think
They do a lot of
soccer
running.
players are like able to form that athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not all because I think there is some
There's
type
not good
of
with their
natural
hands.
ability, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that soccer players are gonna be like the second best. Like look at David, you know, David can do everything.
Look at Brendan.
That's true.
Yeah, and then you know I do a lot of different sports, and I play.
Look at Tom. I was gonna say you were a soccer player at one point. Probably still dabble from time to time, don't you?
Yeah, I play like IM
Mm-hmm.
just to fuck around, but
Do you
I
remember
hate it.
playing
I
soccer
hate it.
back over that over at Bruce's place? Was it
at BT,
BT?
dude, I was actually just talking to my sisters about that.
That was
place.
fun, man. I missed that.
What are we talking about?
There's this place right off of 49th.
I think it is 49th.
Yeah,
Yep, right on
off
left.
of 49th, and
It's just past Brian Derry, I think.
yeah, and so my family actually knows the
Off of
owner.
19 or on
49.
McMullen. Okay,
It's
49th Street Bridge.
Pinellas Park.
49th Street Bridge. Okay,
It's
sorry.
Pinellas Park.
No. I
So-
always think of 49th. I always confused because there's McMullen
Mm-hmm.
goes into 49th Street. So I always think of it as McMullen,
Yeah.
and everyone switches over. 49th Street Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
got it.
So
Oh, we've played there before.
yeah, that
I've
You
place,
played with
I've
us,
played at
haven't
least
you?
once. Yeah.
yeah, the place is fun. Yeah, we actually know the family. It's pretty cool there. It's a fun environment.
Mhm.
But that's the other thing. They're not the only place around here that has that. Because there's like Fast 5, which is right off of US 19, and
That's what I thought you were talking about at first.
Fast
Mm.
5 is a pretty cool
Yeah.
place. I know the owners there too.
I haven't been to Fast Five. Is that one pretty cool?
From what I've seen, I've never been there, but
Yeah.
everything I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
Do you remember that indoor place that we played at in Largo?
Yeah, Pinellas Indoor.
Pinellas Indoor. We should go back there.
I did
I don't
bubble
think they're open
bubble
anymore.
soccer.
For real? Did they go out of business?
Yeah,
That was a
COVID?
cool
They,
little
like-
place they had.
No, that was like way before. I haven't been there in years, but
So they were
They-
running a bad business
yeah, like
before.
the
Must have
last
been,
time. Yeah, the last time I was there, it was like, fuck, dude, it had to have been like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I did bubble soccer last time I was there.
Bubble soccer.
Yeah, but
That's
they
fine.
they got like new owners, and then they tried to do some other stuff with it, and I think it kind of just like phased out because
Mm-hmm.
these other places opened up that were just better.
Yeah, I guess. I just haven't seen any other indoor soccer places around here.
You guys seen that monolithic thing that popped up in Utah?
Oh yeah, that weird looking thing
that
out in
weird
Utah.
like statue just
Oh,
was
yeah,
there
yeah,
for a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
days.
yeah.
that
and then
just cements
disappeared.
the fact that aliens are real. Like I've believed in aliens
Wasn't it?
for a long
It was
time.
in another country too.
Ever since I
Okay,
seen
so that's why I was brought it up because I'm confused. So it popped up in Utah.
Mhm.
It disappeared, but I guess they got it caught on camera. People were taking it down. Some people came and took it down,
Mhm.
and some photographer caught that on camera. So I know like that it didn't just disappear. Like some people came and took it down,
Somebody's messing
but
with
they don't
us
know who
again.
took it down. But someone did, probably the government. But then it
It
popped
was
up.
in Utah. It was the Mormons.
But then it
Had to
popped
have
up in another country, like you're saying. It popped
Yeah,
up in like
well,
Romania,
It was a different one.
a different one.
The one in whatever other country. I don't know if it's Romania or not, but it was a different one.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Within like a span of like 2 days of the first one being
Bro,
spotted.
You know who I think? It could be that anonymous group. That's what I thought at
You think it's
first.
anonymous?
Yeah,
Really?
you know that anonymous group? How they
The
like
anonymous
they like
group,
phased
really.
out for a few years and then they just like shot back up out of
They
nowhere.
did. They did come back out of nowhere. I remember
It was
that.
kind of interesting how they came out for.
It
I
was
don't know.
like-
It's
it was-
interesting how they came out when they came out. They came out during like the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff.
Yeah, it
And
was.
people were going crazy, and
it
they just kept
was-
posting cop videos.
It was like
Yeah.
months before the election. I don't know if there was any correlation there, any reason behind it, but
I've heard people say that they're like a psyop, like
It
they're
was-
really part of like the CIA.
could be.
Uh,
I don't know.
And part of it,
I think they're
I mean,
just a
you
bunch
don't know
of
what they're a
hackers.
part of, but at the same time, it is kind of very interesting how they have a Twitter account,
Yeah.
and Twitter just allows that. Like,
Yeah, I mean they're public. They can post what they want.
yeah,
Just
but
like
Twitter
everybody
like
else.
imposes other people and restricts other people. But then there's this group anonymous that just like hacks people, and
Well, yeah, because I mean they don't suppress.
Maybe
it
they have
because
a
it's
hacked
all-
account.
It's all factual information.
maybe their account is hacked. They just
They're
Maybe.
probably the same people who do the Ray-Ban ads on Facebook.
Oh, God, I hate those.
for like the $23
Yeah.
I
Ray-Bans.
hate those.
You get that shit all the time.
Somebody hacked my Instagram and put that on there.
I've
This was,
gotten
like,
sent
years
to me.
ago.
Yeah.
I've had it where like on Twitter, like 3 or 4 people send it like, buy your sunglasses today, and it's like, how the fuck does this keep going on?
It's annoying. So TikTok, really? You think hop on the wave? Like, there's.
We're going back to TikTok. I mean, yeah, why not? It's cool. It's got some good stuff. It's definitely one of the more addicting social media apps though out there.
Well,
What are the benefits to spending time on TikTok?
There are no benefits.
Yeah, there's zero benefits.
Actually, if I were to
Absolutely
be
not.
straight on, I mean, it depends on what TikTok you're a part
It's
of.
actually made my
That's
life
true.
worse.
So
Yeah.
that's the other cool thing is that like you do get videos that like you be interested in,
Yeah.
and it's like an automatic play, right? So like you can just watch videos like all day long of like stuff you're actually interested
Literally
in.
all day
Like,
long.
like, if
But
you're
how
just bored
would
as shit.
how would they know what you're interested in?
It was the
Based-
algorithm based off
yeah,
of
it's
what
like-
you watch,
yeah,
how
it's
long
like-
you watch it. So like if you watch a video about, let's say, dogs, let's say you watch a puppy video and you watch the entirety of the puppy video,
I would watch
the
whole puppy
algorithm
video.
automatically thinks that you're gonna like puppy videos, so it's gonna start showing you more.
Yeah.
But let's say you start to hate puppies and you start like you see a puppy video and you just immediately click buy it. It's gonna pick up that you clicked buy it real quick, so it's gonna start slowly like phasing these
Phasing
puppy
it out.
videos out until you get something new. Like my
I don't
Twitter,
want my puppies gone.
No, I'm just using
Keep
it
my
as
puppies
it's
around.
an example.
I want to watch puppy
but
videos.
I think it's pretty cool. Like mine is filled with a lot of rednecks and a lot of cooking.
What is redneck TikTok like?
It's pretty cool. It's like a lot of trucks, a lot of dumb shit going on,
Like give us the
like
details.
a lot of mud.
We're over here sitting here.
Yeah,
not.
I don't even have a
We are
TikTok.
not
Tell
on
me
redneck
about this,
TikTok.
bro.
Dude,
I'm on EDM TikTok.
Yeah,
I'm on
figured you were.
finance TikTok,
I figured you were.
and I get a Star Wars TikTok big time.
I've seen a lot of like TikTok videos popping up on my Instagram lately, and I'm
Yeah,
really
and
not
that's the other
thrilled
thing,
about
like,
it.
A lot of those
don't like
videos
it.
do get double platformed because like,
I double platform everything I post. Everything I post on TikTok, I put on another platform.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
But I post like fast food videos. I'm not posting like
yeah.
dumb shit. Not yet, anyways.
Sure,
Coming up.
I believe you.
Tell me more about this redneck TikTok though.
Yeah, I
Trucks,
kinda
people
wanna-
doing
I kinda wanna
stupid-
hear
like, what
about
type
it.
of stupid shit are we
you
talking
remember-
about?
You remember the shit that we were doing in like high school?
Yep.
It's them, but grown up.
It's like it's like them, but like 30-year-olds who have like trucks that they probably shouldn't spend money on.
But they souped them up anyway.
But they soup them up anyway, you know.
Nice.
Like you're looking at 80,
Pimp my
90,
ride, redneck edition.
six-figure trucks.
Yeah, and they
crazy.
just didn't own
Yeah,
them.
just like some whistling diesel shit, you know.
I
Same
like
shit.
that.
Are they doing stupid shit with like cranes and mud and drinking?
It's just like
I was thinking like the
it's
tarps
just
around
like-
the crane and they just spin the people around.
oh, I've never seen that, but like it's just like a lot of like the partying that we did up north ish, you know,
Northish.
from where we're at up in the Port Richey area. and
So do
stuff.
you think the louder the truck, the redder the redneck? Is there a correlation there?
No,
The bigger the truck, the redder the redneck?
No.
You don't think so?
no.
What if you
Longer
have a big,
longer the beard,
big-
more the redneck.
a big
Sure.
and loud truck?
I think that's a pretty good.
Yeah, probably.
I don't
that's
know
a
if I'm
pretty
just
good-
ripping off stereotypes, but big and loud truck, big beard.
No, because I've
Red
seen guys
redneck.
like live in the city and get their trucks souped up, and it's really annoying.
Those are the wannabes.
Or they get those skinny
Do you
ass
remember the,
tires. I
the-
hate
I
that.
hate
I
those,
hate
the fucking
yeah,
rubber
those-
bands on a giant ass truck.
God,
It's
they
like-
make it like a racing vehicle. Like, what are you
looks
doing?
horrible.
What are you doing?
It's terrible.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do you remember those wannabe rednecks back in high school?
They are still rednecks.
Yeah, they're not
Mm.
wannabe rednecks. They're still rednecks.
I think they were always rednecks.
I think they're still.
Okay, I
wannabes.
get why you said wannabe because of where we live. I get that. Like he's saying, because there's not much.
Oh yeah, we're.
We are in.
There's not much
We're
That's the
around
like
thing.
around
here.
Clearwater,
people,
Florida.
People think I'm a redneck. No, like I'm a.
I'm a
very
certified
much,
beach
I'm very
bum.
much city boy.
City boy.
Like I don't
like
live that
that, Jenks, yummy
lifestyle.
Coke.
but-
Nah,
Nice.
city boy as he dips.
I like to think of myself
Yeah.
as a beach bum, a drifter. Per
Yeah.
se.
I could see that.
I would
A
say,
drifter.
okay,
I could
so,
see he's a drifter.
So here's the thing. Here's what I explain to people, like up north, you know, where it's a different demographic. Where those boys, they're farm boys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not necessarily rednecks, and they're not necessarily from the south. They're farm boys. I kind of explain to people like, everybody thinks I'm a redneck and that I'm a hick, and I'm like, I'm really not. I'm more of a Florida cracker.
Yeah.
Right,
know.
right. That's our
But-
version
but,
of
like,
rednecks. Yeah.
I'm like a buttered Florida cracker, but
Yeah, buttered up Florida
Yeah.
cracker.
Florida
nice-
does have
nice
everything because
yellow
we've got
tint.
like city folk suburban people.
And that's the thing.
Florida
a lot
rednecks,
of like a lot
beach
of the
bum.
times.
I still
like,
think that's a derogatory term.
What?
Cracker. I don't like saying it. It's just.
I think that's like the perfect way to. I would say it's the perfect way.
I think it's a good way to describe. Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Does it offend you?
No, I mean it's just I don't like where
Like
it
if someone was
comes
like
from.
you cracker and they said it to you, you'd be offended.
Jack,
Well, I mean-
you're a Florida cracker, bro.
Me? No.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Him?
I'm not a cattle rancher. I don't do that.
I don't think I would classify him as that.
Me?
Beach bum, sure.
He is a beach bum.
Beach bum, more so.
We're just so diverse, dude.
It is. We've got like everything
That's
going.
the thing. Like
We have a very wide.
when you're from
So
Florida,
they say like America
Variety.
is a melting pot of the world, and then Florida is like the melting pot of the melting pot.
Y'all ain't never
Yeah.
been to
Yeah.
Pinellas County yet. There's quite a few cats down here.
there is, there really is, because like we got the snowbirds, you know, and then we obviously got the people who are just all about the beach. We have people that are all about the woods, and then we have the city people, and it's like, but like the thing is
Yeah,
like.
he's not wrong.
I know, just the
but,
way
like-
he's like describing them. He's like
but, like,
these
here's the
people,
thing-
and then these
Here's
people.
the thing about
and then
our
these
county. The thing
He
about
just kept adding the word people after every group he put out there.
The thing about our
Like,
county
not
is
to
that there's
offend
no
them.
boundaries between that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no set boundary between that.
No,
Because,
Everything's
like-
just kind of
No,
thrown
everything's just-
together.
Because
mushed
everything
together.
is a fucking city here in reality. Like,
Oh, yeah.
If you're from Pinellas County, you're
I agree. We're like one of the most
reality, you're a
densely
city boy.
populated areas in the country, and
Yeah.
it's crazy to be in that because it's like you're saying, it's just concrete everywhere. But it's not like a concrete city. It's not like there's these huge skyscrapers and buildings that like
Yeah,
New York
no, it's
has.
nothing special. Nothing
There's
huge.
nothing special
I
here.
mean, Tampa's kind of cool. They got a couple of big buildings out there.
I was just down there last night. Super fun.
Nice.
Some
I-
lime scooters.
I've always wanted.
those are
to-
fun.
It's been a while, but I went out there. I was walking around downtown Charlotte when I came back from my road trip, and I seen some of those lime scooters.
Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
like North Carolina, Charlotte.
Yeah, North
Oh,
Carolina.
okay. Just making sure we're on the same page here.
Yeah, no, I saw them, but we were walking around there at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the times that they have on them only run from like 8 a.m. to like 10 p.m. So
Oh,
we could
That's
slide.
annoying.
Yeah, that is
I've gone to Tampa and done the lime scooters a few times at night.
Yeah, like I mean, it's 4 in the morning.
Get a
Scott and I are
little-
trying to go for a little run.
Get a
like,
little
come
high
on.
for it. Roam around the city
Roam
high.
around the city, just
on the scooter.
floating on cloud nine. I do not condone using drugs.
We rented the bikes one night too and did that.
Yeah, dude.
That was
I was
that.
just gonna bring that up. That was.
Were you
super
were
fun.
there that night?
Yeah. I was
Okay,
there
I
that
couldn't
night.
remember who
we
was
did
there.
that all night long. That was so fun.
That was a long ass night.
Where'd you guys go?
We just started
Bro, we
the
literally just got bikes and went everywhere.
everywhere downtown Tampa.
Literally
I
just
don't know. I don't
everywhere.
know what the point was, but it was.
Just a bike trip.
Somebody
Let's
just
hop
threw
on
out
bikes
the
and
idea,
go.
and we drove out.
It was
Phase on.
yeah.
Faison. I wonder where he's
Gone.
at, man.
Disappeared.
I hope he's doing well. Faison, wherever you're at, man. I hope you're doing well.
Isn't he down South Florida right now?
I don't know what he's doing. The last conversation I had with him was about like conspiracy shit. Like he was like going like in on it.
Really?
I don't know if it was real or not.
Maybe
He was
really
telling me all
deep
this
in
shit
thought.
about aliens and it was cool. I mean, it was pretty interesting. He did tell me two things. Swear to God, I don't know to this day. He told me two things like before. This was before the election, so it was prior to Trump and Hillary going at it.
Sure.
And he had said like three things really about like Trump, what Trump would do if he wins, and then something about Joe Biden. And then like all three of them came true in like the matter of like 2 years. And I remember,
What?
like, I look back on that conversation. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he was telling me this shit, and I was like,
What?
yeah, okay.
Faison's smart, man. That guy's brilliant.
Really
Very
is.
rich man too.
Well, I think he was talking. It's like, again, a last conversation I had with him. He was talking to. He had met some guy. I don't know who the guy was. Some shaman. I don't even know if it was a shaman. I have no idea what this guy was.
Cool.
But like told him a bunch of this shit about like I guess what most people would consider like conspiratorial, like about like astral projecting and the establishment, like a bunch of shit. And then part of it was part of that conversation. Like we talked about like literally that night we talked about aliens, astral projection, we talked about veganism and like the reasons why he switched to being a vegan or vegetarian.
He's a vegan
And
now,
then-
vegetarian?
Yeah, he was been one. But he had like reasons with spirituality wise, and he was talking about how when you have meat that is factory farmed, the like animal spirit of the meat essentially when it's like when these cows aren't like killed, like not just killed out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're just put into these factories, and they like they
Slaughtered.
know they're going to their death.
Mhm.
So like what that does to the meat is it makes the meat spiritually bad, was what he was saying.
Wow.
So he was taking it to like another level of like not just I don't care about you animals. He was talking about like the meat itself gets bad because the animals are terrified as they're dying. Whereas like if you go hunting and you kill an elk or something, they don't even know what's going on. They don't like they hear the shot,
It's
they
a
look
surprise,
dead. Like
yeah.
if they're just dead. There's no terror, nothing. They're just dead. Whereas like if you're like you're in line to just go to the slaughterhouse and like the cow in front of you gets sent in and you just hear like and then you're like, oh shit, that's not a cool like your animal instincts are like, that's not a sound I want to hear.
No.
Yeah.
I'm next and I can't leave, and then they just die, and apparently
I
that's
I feel like I
fucks with the
remember
meat.
him, like talking about this at some point. I think you remember that one time. I think it was like probably our freshman year in college
Mm-hmm.
when we went to Applebee's.
Right.
I feel like that was the time I heard that.
He talked about it he talked about that one specifically a lot because he was trying to get other people to understand it. So he was talking a lot about how like the being vegan and the spiritual animal, like everything. Basically, it was like how which I kind of buy into, like everything's sort of connected, right? Like the cows eat the grass, therefore you eat the cow, you're getting energy from the grass. It's like all revolving, and you die, goes back into the earth, and yada yada yada. Like
Circle of
everything
life,
fucking
man.
it's the big
Simba
circle of
taught us
life.
that.
But Hakuna Matata, exactly.
Rafiki.
Yes, Rafiki.
I am Rafiki.
I can't.
All
Sorry.
I know is, dude,
But yeah,
I love me a fat steak.
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about this too.
We talked about
we
this
talked
on the
about
last
steaks
podcast.
and food and how we probably couldn't do it. But we do agree on the fact that factory farming isn't good.
No, absolutely.
No. It's
Like
not.
I definitely could see how a grass-fed cow is way better than a factory farm cow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But-
Spirituality or not, like however you want to take it, I totally see that it could be better for you.
So here's the thing I always love talking about, because like I like eating, I like cooking, so like I like good food.
Sure.
What's your guys' favorite steak? Because everybody always says the filet mignon, right?
I wouldn't think that was the first one that came to mind, but not I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
I think a porterhouse is my favorite.
I like prime rib.
What else? Okay, yeah. So like I'm a ribeye guy.
You're a ribeye guy?
Yeah, I'm a big ribeye guy.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I hate it, dude. Everybody always says like filet mignon, but like, because it's really like the most.
I think that's the most
cut.
common, most
Well,
expensive. Right? Yeah.
It's like the most expensive cut.
I mean,
So,
because
like,
when you asked that, literally the first thing that came to mind was filet mignon. But that's not what I get. I wouldn't ask that.
yeah,
I would never get that. But
No.
that's the first one that comes to
Yeah.
mind. Is like, oh, that's expensive. That's probably the best
Right?
cut of
Yeah,
meat. So
exactly.
that's automatically what you think.
Everybody always says. I'm like, I know you don't know food, because like there's so many cuts
The
that are
cook over
so much better than filet mignons. Like, don't get
Did
me
you
wrong.
see him as a cook? Chef hat,
Filet
He's a
mignon
good-
is
he's a good
good.
cook.
cooking
you
up
know?
gumbo.
Yeah.
Jack, you see my food, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm well aware this man can cook.
I can cook, bro.
This man can cook.
I believe it.
We talked
I'm not
about-
judging. I'm
we
asking
talked
if you
about
could
it
see
last
him
time.
dressed as a cook.
Oh, like with a chef hat and
Yeah,
everything?
yeah.
Ooh.
Cooking up crawfish.
That's
gumbo.
what you should be for like Halloween one year. Just dress up as like a chef from
Specifically with crawfish.
like,
Yeah.
like
Just carry around a
Please.
bucket of crawfish.
Yes, please.
dress up as a hibachi chef. You gotta carry around
That's
like
fucking
the two little
racist,
thing.
dude.
No, it's not.
That's fucking racist.
No, come on.
You're profiling on this podcast?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, come
That's
on.
messed up. We don't do that here.
Oh my gosh.
We're not changing it to
I
a
thought it was.
profiling
I thought it
podcast.
was a great idea, and you guys just shot me down.
Wait,
This is-
he
I
did
thought
say
you
for a Halloween
really-
costume.
That's what I'm saying. For a
He
costume,
didn't say every
bro.
day.
No, come on
He
now.
didn't say live
I
your
might
life
as-
like
I'm
might
that.
saying
as
I
well
think
be
you would-
Mr. Chow, bro. What the fuck?
Wow. Not what I
I
was
didn't
saying.
know you were
at
so
all.
offended over there.
My goodness, this guy's getting softer by the minute. Jeez, it's
I
been
really
too long
am, bro.
time.
The older I get, the softer I get.
My goodness, you're
I
just
like
a
have
big
more
teddy bear.
sympathy for people. and
Have
it's
you
fucked.
noticed? Yeah, I would say. Have you felt like you've ever felt like you understand where those people come from?
Yeah, like, so last time we talked about like not being fluffy and stuff, you know.
We talked about not being
And-
fluffy and then giving advice, but
Yeah,
not in a
but,
sense
like,
of like
so-
political correctness and stuff like
So
that.
so here's the thing. It's like I feel like the older I get, I really do like. I don't know if it's that I'm getting soft, but I definitely think like I'm not nearly as harsh or judgmental on people.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know how to explain it, but like maybe like I just like don't tell people like how I feel about them.
Sure.
anymore.
But does that that was really loud? Does that tie into like what about softness as in a political correctness like way? Is that what you mean? Like, for instance, he just said you should be a hibachi
I
chef
think you would kill it on Halloween.
for a Halloween costume, and you were joking that you got offended, which you were joking.
Yeah.
But like, there might be people that legit get offended by that.
Yeah, absolutely. There are people that would get offended by that.
Even though he said like Halloween costume, which perfectly to me makes perfect sense. Like it's a costume. He's not saying you should fucking do that every day.
Yeah, no. For me.
So do you understand that though? Like that sense of like that's what I'm getting at.
I definitely understand. Like I'm not.
Do you understand where they're like you could see where they got offended from?
Like so, yeah, I do. But like for me, like I don't get offended very easily. You guys know that about me.
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah.
So it takes a lot to like actually offend me, because I do have that like confidence about me. I think.
Sure.
But outside of that, like I do see for other people like why they'd be offended by that. I think I grew up different, but I have seen like that little bit of change over the last few years. I think it's the fucking liberal arts education.
I mean,
it
probably is. I think that's a little bit of it too.
I think it's like the people that I've been around that kind of make me feel that way.
Like, I can say for me personally, I can understand why they might be offended by it, but at the same time, I'm like, depending on what it is, I'm like, just fucking grow up. Like it's whatever. It's not a big like it's there's no like you getting so offended and worked up isn't gonna help the situation either.
That's definitely true. And it's like a lot of times it's like, okay, you know, like you have to be able to recognize what's a joke and what's not.
Yeah.
Like some douchebag almost hit me on 19 today. I may or may not have to pull out my gun. I'm just saying. I didn't, but
it's a joke, man. Relax.
Yeah, you know, just
imagine that one on the highway.
Hit your little fucking BMW into my truck. See what happens. Like that dude's fucking flipping.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know.
No, I understand. It is interesting to see because there are like you're saying like sometimes where I like okay I see what they're saying like it's a little offensive. There's other times where I'm like, really, is this what we're gonna complain about?
Are you really gonna argue about this? Like, yeah, that's.
But there's a fine line where people say like, "Oh, I'm joking to shit," like when they intentionally try to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Like from before his intent, I didn't see any intent. No. You know, I thought it was a joking intent. But like if he was just like not joking, like straight face, like yeah, you should dress as that every day. I'd be like, okay, that's what.
I definitely do have like a fucked up sense of humor though. That's not PC at all.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah,
it's all right. That's part of the reason I like you. I think you're pretty cool.
Yeah, you're a pretty cool guy.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
We invited you out here.
Pretty cool guy.
Thanks, guys. I'd go over there and kiss you, but
weird.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I
was scrolling through Twitter last week, 2 weeks ago, and I read this quote. And I thought it was
Twitter?
every once in a while. And I read this quote. I thought it was very
old man Skantze driving through, scrolling through the Twitter.
Very relatable to this conversation. It said, "For a generation that grew up watching Family Guy and South Park, we sure do get offended quite easily."
Oh, it's true.
And I thought about that, and I said,
absolutely.
Well, what's weird is I don't know if it's really the entire generation or if it's just a select few people that have a bigger voice, and it just gets amplified on social media and the media that these people are like complaining.
Do you remember how offensive and how politically incorrect Family Guy used to be?
They all are. Same with South Park still is.
South Park, I mean,
it still is.
They still are, yeah.
And we get offended so easily.
They even make fun of it with PC Principal in South Park.
But so here's the thing. So like the people that we know down here are a lot different than the people I know up there. So like up there, a lot of the people they like. I know for a fact that they came from families that they weren't allowed to watch those types of shows when they were like 12, 13 years old. You know, like for us, I don't think our parents gave a shit. My mom didn't give a shit.
So it has to do with how we're raised. It's the fluff of America. You were raised in a white suburban, nice area. You might give more of a shit than.
But you were.
Needed.
Were you not?
I mean, we all were, but I wouldn't say ours was.
Know,
I think there's a lot of richer areas than where we live.
There is.
Yeah.
But we also live on the water, so it's like. It's bound to be.
We just live near the water. We don't live on the water.
We live near the water.
Near the water.
I'm not one of those people that lives on the water.
Yeah, we're not on the water, but we're.
It's a different class.
We're behind those houses.
Yeah.
You know, we're in their backyards.
Just a couple blocks away. Like we're right there.
Yeah.
There's merely a stone's throw.
There's
away.
water
Actually,
everywhere in
I
Florida.
think Jack's house was the closest to the water.
Yeah, Papa Skantze
Out of all of
lives
us.
3 homes off the water.
Yeah, and I'm like 3 blocks off.
It's like who is
Yeah,
it?
but there's
It's
a
Ricky.
difference than
Yeah,
where we
somebody
live on the
said-
water
Yeah.
and like people
like,
that legit
okay,
live on
okay,
the
now-
water.
Now think about this though. Think about your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Now go 3 blocks down over to the railroad track.
That's true. MLK starts getting bad.
That's 6 blocks
Yeah.
in our town that we grew
I
up
agree.
in.
And then if you go like the other way, it gets nicer.
I wish
It
it wasn't so
phases out.
bad. I wish it wasn't
I
known
don't
as
think
like a bad area.
I don't think it's that bad.
Notoriously, it's
not-
not a great
no.
area, but that's not horrible.
Mhm.
It's not like filled with gangs or whatnot.
No, it's not.
No,
It's got a bad rep for sure.
I just wish it had a little bit of a better reputation. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let's bring this back in. So we're saying that as where you are raised and how you're raised
Mhm.
affects your level of offendedness,
Yeah.
essentially,
Well, I think
Okay.
so. Here's the other thing that I've noticed is that
or how much you were made fun of as a kid is how much you get offended.
that too.
I
feel
know
like
we all dug the fuck into each other as
Yeah,
kids,
but
all the way
like-
up to high school.
But I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of kids, if you're dug into too much, that it does.
They
affect you
break.
the
Oh, it goes the other
opposite
way.
Right.
Yeah.
It
I
absolutely
could see that.
cracks and
I
goes
could
the
see that
opposite way.
absolutely.
And it could break them
But,
down.
There's got to be a good balance of like everybody ragging on each other.
I know, like now, like, and I see these in my younger cousins that, like, they really fall for the peer pressure of being that very, like, they can't figure out their own political standpoint, you know. So like the friends that they have, and like it
It's like
sounds
one friend gets
really-
offended, they're all like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah, but like the other thing is like, I mean, like they're like 12 years old, you know, like they really don't know any better but to just do what their friends think, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we all did that
And-
to a level though. Not
yeah,
not to a
so-
political level because like at 12 years old I didn't fucking follow politics.
But like
That's
it's
true.
different now. That was for us. It was 10 years ago, and I know it doesn't sound like a long time, but a
Mhm.
lot of development happens in 10 years. Like look at the fucking 10th graders now, dude. They look like they should be in college.
Some of them, yeah.
You know what I
Some
mean?
of them are pretty big.
Yeah, I always thought we looked like fucking pipsqueaks.
Oh, I don't think we did. Not our senior year in high school.
I think we were
Our
bigger
senior,
than
junior
the,
year. I think
the
we were
average
bigger
high
than
school kid.
what they
a little
were
bit.
now. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel
I
like
just
they're
remember
getting
the
smaller,
kids
man.
when we were like when I was in like, freshman and stuff. All the kids
Mhm.
that were seniors have just looked
They
like,
looked
Oh,
huge.
dude, they're
huge,
tiny.
like, so much more
absolutely.
bigger than us.
Well,
But
Always.
then, but then think about
I'm 6'4". Everyone I felt everyone was bigger than me.
well, I go back like once a year, maybe twice a year to go see the football team.
You go back to Countryside for
Yeah,
real?
so I go back to
I
Countryside.
wanted to go back.
I go back to Countryside and I go see like Coach Nolan and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And like I see the kids there, and they're like, some of them are like what I expected, what I thought we were, you know.
Mhm.
And then some of them like look like they're fucking in middle school still.
Really?
Like some of them are like tiny.
I do remember the class that was when we were. I do remember thinking the class when we were seniors, and they were freshmen. I remember thinking like these kids,
They're tiny.
they're tiny. Yeah, do you
They're
remember? I do
little.
actually remember thinking
Well,
that.
I was tiny.
I'm not talking about you.
I was.
Tom,
tiny.
you're
I was-
different,
I was
bro.
That's why you hung out with
tiny.
them. It doesn't make sense.
No, that's fucked up, dude.
Hey, you bought yourself into
Hey.
that. You're like, I'm tiny.
I had good
I'm
friends.
Tiny Tom.
I had good friends.
Tiny
Tom.
Tiny Tom.
I was small though in high school. I was very small in high school. I'm still pretty small now. It's not like I got any bigger.
Yeah, but you're beefier.
I am beefier. I
Yeah.
put on a lot of weight
Yeah,
since
you're,
high school.
you're beefier.
On that northern weight.
Yeah.
I stay warm during winter.
That college
Yeah,
football
that's
weight.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that big boy weight.
Yeah, that I put on a lot of weight. I was actually I think my highest weight in college was like 172.
Wow. That's
That's the
more than
most
I
I've
weigh
ever
right
weighed.
now.
You know, so
It's the most I've ever weighed in my life.
I know.
I'm at
160.
160.
And you're 6'4". You're fucking 12 inches taller than me.
I'm a skinny man.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you are.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, but it was definitely weird because I was tiny in high school. I know that for a fact.
I think it's because people are just getting too soft. I think
You just think it's part of the gradual evolution of time
I
as a
don't-
society, as our society inclines, we get softer. I think that is
I feel
more to do with
like
it than anything.
We need to get hard.
this generation
Let's get
that's,
hard.
that's growing up
I mean, think about it. Like,
is like they take everything so personally. Like people are coming after them. No, that's not the case. Sometimes
feel
they're
like-
just stating how they feel. Sometimes they're just stating a fact. Sometimes they're just giving their opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean they're coming after you. No.
Yeah, and I think
And I feel like a lot of people think that they think people are coming after them. That's why they take it so personally. That's why we're getting softer.
You bring up a good point. You go, Tom.
I'll
go next.
I definitely know that like every time I come in and do a podcast, Jacob and I talk about this. Like it comes up at some point.
This topic?
Yeah, this like topic about people being soft.
Really?
We talked about it last time. We didn't talk about it the last 2 times.
Yeah, we did.
No, we talked about
go back and
awareness and such.
Maybe it came up briefly
we talked about
in
it in a different way, but it got brought up this way.
No, because this is hitting it in a different manner. Because before, what Tom and I have talked about, if you guys haven't listened, is like we talked about having awareness to what you're doing in life.
Yeah.
Like your acute awareness to like, okay, I've done this, that's why this is happening to me, or like I didn't study enough for this exam, that's why I failed it. Like that, you're not just blaming your circumstances on other people. You're just aware that like this is not awareness. It's more of accountability. Is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is different than what I think we're talking about now, which is the fact that it does seem today in today's society that like people are getting more offended, not because they're not having accountability, but just like they're just getting offended off of like everything. And but you bring up a point of like, and what I think is like people are just identifying more and more with like their values, whereas like we're very much like, yeah, we have these beliefs and yada yada yada, but we're not like tied to them.
Sure.
We're not like stuck to these beliefs. Like I'm not gonna sit here and like die for my beliefs. Whereas I think more people would die for their beliefs.
Because I think we have a realization that the world is changing every day. Everything is changing. Nothing's gonna stay the same forever.
It's got to.
You know, and if you're aware of the fact that it's probably not gonna stay that way for much longer, or it's not gonna stay that way for long, you definitely open your mind up a little bit. You know.
Open your mind up as in
to new ideas, to new thoughts, to being more accepting of the way people are, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
than the things that they do, the actions that they take.
I know for me, like personally, like I like that negative feedback.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know,
you feed off of it.
Yeah, because that's the only way I know how I'm gonna get better.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what I do, it's like if you, and we talk about this fluff shit all the time. It's like if you keep telling me about only the things that I do well and not the things that I do bad, I'm never gonna know how to fix what I do bad.
It's not even when we say fluff shit. It's not even that. It's almost like you're just telling that person what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So you could do horrible, and we could be like, "Hey, I know that wasn't that bad." It's like, no, it's fucking tell me it sucked. Tell me it was fucking shitty.
I want to hear that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like with this, the podcast, anything. I'm like, I want feedback on how it sounds. What's going on. But even if it's bad, like tell me it so I can fucking fix it. Because if you tell me it's great, I'm gonna go yay. And then just keep doing what I'm doing and it never pick up or whatever the issues might be.
At the end of the day, you want people to enjoy your podcast, right?
Right.
And the only way to do that is to make it in a way where people are satisfied to what they're watching or what they're listening to.
Yeah. I mean, that's with anything you do too. You want to get better at the gym. You're doing squats. I don't know. Your fucking form's off. You want someone to tell you your form's off rather than like you're sitting there doing like heavy weights, but your form's horrible and people are just watching you like, what the fuck's the kid doing?
No, definitely fuck that, dude. I don't want to get hurt.
At the same time, if you flip it around and you tell a kid so often that he's messing up or he's not doing so hot, it's going to break him down after a while. If you don't encourage him or give him any sort of positive uplift.
Absolutely.
I agree with that too.
He's never going to think he's good enough.
And
if you tear him down every single day, tell him about everything he's doing wrong and don't ever bring up the things that he's doing right. He or she could be a female athlete. It could break them down. I feel like they're not going to move forward at the rate that they should be.
Well, here's the other thing, and I know Jack might be able to relate to this a little bit, but like, what happens when like people aren't telling you what to fix, and then you go and do something, and then you get rejected.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a huge thing in like your transition from high school sports to college sports, and that's just like something experience that I know personally. And like even for me, it's like the workforce, like how I was looking for a job and stuff. And like if people didn't tell me all these things that I had to fix in the last 3 years or whatever, like I wouldn't be prepared for that rejection.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big one too. Is like if you don't help people out by telling them like what's wrong, it's like they're not gonna be prepared for that rejection, and that shit sucks for sure. Because being rejected for anything fucking sucks.
It's awful.
Right? You don't want to get turned down on anything.
No.
Anything that you want, you don't want to get turned down on.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I don't care who you are. Like you're not just gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine with that, whatever."
Yeah.
Like what kind of attitude is that?
Yeah. If you think you have a great idea, somebody else shits all over it. It's like, well, I thought it was good. You know, my thinking was good. But no, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to be able to take that criticism and learn from it. And I get, at the same time, I see what you're saying. Like, if you're constantly getting criticized, you're gonna kind of be like, "What the fuck? I'm always doing something wrong. Like, I'm the issue." I think it's important that whoever is giving out the criticism, there's a way to give it out, and there's like a constructive way to give it out, and that's like me in my life. I know when I'm trying to help people, I try to give it to them like constructively, like, "Hey, think of it this and this way." Give them like kind of like both sides. Like, here's what you're doing now. See, what if you tried it this way, and then this might be the result. And like, you gotta give them that, give them that constructive criticism, because I there are a lot of people that don't handle criticism well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of on them, but it's also kind of not, because sometimes there are people that are dicks about stuff and they just like flat out like don't give it to you in a nice way. They just be rude about it. Like the worst thing I've seen is when like someone does something wrong and then their friends or so-called friends, whatever, like go at them and attack them for it. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did this, this, and this. Like, that's so funny, ha ha ha." Like it happens way more with girls. Like the way this example I was just given, where the girls are like say something, and then the other like girls are like going at them.
Yeah.
And like that always just doesn't end well. But there's definitely ways to go about it. And I think that's something that people should take away from this too, is that if you are going to help somebody out and you want to give them critique, criticizing, whatever it might be, it could even be helpful. You never know how they're going to interpret it, so I always try to give it to them like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And every kid is different. Like if you're a coach and you're trying to help and teach these kids how to do something specific, every kid is different. Sometimes they're not going to get it. Sometimes they're not going to get it the first 5 tries. Sometimes they're not going to get it the first 20 tries. But you have to be patient. That's another important thing, is you have to understand that not everybody's the same. Not everybody's going to go at the same pace, and you have to wait till everybody gets it.
On that note, I want to say, though, given that their actions are pointing into the direction that they're trying, there's
absolutely.
a big mistake.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, you're trying,
Effort means a lot.
and you putting in effort, and you might fail 20 times. But if you're like not trying, and you're saying you are, and I'm watching you not try, it's like, okay, now I don't believe you. Like, you're really getting it. You're not getting it after 20 times because you're not even fucking putting the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also have like the other side of the page where you have to be coachable, right? So like you can't put all the responsibility on that coach, right? You have to also put it on the person who's trying to take that training, where like they have to be able to listen and they have to be able to understand, like, all right, these are things I'm doing wrong. So I think like one of the big things, especially with like really young kids, is that like you have to, before you like teach them fundamentals of a sport or like fundamentals of any skill, you have to teach them to be able to listen in reality. Like they have to be able to take in that information and use that information to their advantage. And I think like that's one of the assets that a lot of people tend to not have, is that they can't take that coaching in a positive manner. So it kind of, there's like a balance between the two, where like, okay, you have to know how to give the coaching, but then on the other hand, you also have to know how to take the coaching.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I know, like, coaching wise, me, if I'm ever helping people, I always try to give like examples, like real life examples of, I'm like, I fucked up. I'm like, don't do it this way. Like I did that. This is what fucking happened.
Yeah.
Like, I try to like I'm trying to prevent friend, family, whoever it is, like, I'm trying to prevent you from doing it because I've already gone down this road where it didn't work, and I can see your head in that way. Like, try to do something different. I had a point to bring up on what you were just saying, but I totally fucking forgot it. So
that's okay.
We'll move past it.
I have had teammates throughout my life that have had coaches that were just relentless. Like, they would do something, given they may not have been the best ball players. Then this is going all the way up from when I was like 4 or 5 years old, all the way up through college ball. Like, it's I've experienced it at all levels. If you tear down a kid so much, eventually he's going to start to resent the coach.
I hear that.
Eventually he's going to start resent being out there anywhere near the coach. After a while, he starts hating to be out there. After a while, he starts to hate the game.
Yeah.
And you hate to see a kid's love for the game go because of a coach. That breaks my heart. So you need to find a balance between constructive criticism, tearing them down, but also bringing them back up and teaching them the right way and how to do things. Because if you keep tearing them down, they're going to fall into such a deep pit. They're not going to know how to crawl back out of it. Your teammates, they can try, they can do everything they can to try to pick you back up, get that spark back in you, get that life back in you. But if it's gone, man, it's gone. And I've seen it go, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. And it comes from poor coaching at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's like if the kid goes 2 for 3 and then they only focus on the fucking one at bat, he fucked up.
Absolutely.
It's like
just
you
like
went
that.
2 for 3, fucking focus on the 2 for 3. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Absolutely.
Shitty,
2 for 3 is awesome. That's what you should be hyping up. Great job at the plate today. Not necessarily all the time. You should have done this better. You should have done this better. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? It doesn't have to be all the time. I'm not saying that. You don't have to be that coach that's, a positive patty every single day. I get that. But there needs to be...
for 4. Great job.
Dude, if I went out for 4, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody.
No, but I mean, that's what we're saying is like there is I know I've seen it where I used to play with kids that like they go 2 for 3 and you're like, in my head, I'm like, it's a fucking great game. And like their dad or like one of the coaches is like, you did great tonight, but, and then they just go in on like that one fucking at bat they did horrible, and it's like, damn, like that fucking sucks, because you're like, I'd be happy 2 for 3, like I'd be pretty fucking happy with that, like, and here that kid is getting reamed for it. So yeah, it's a fine line. I mean, there's like a yin and yang to both sides. I think what I was gonna say with what you were saying about being coachable, and you have to be coachable, is that at the same time you have to almost go into everything like saying you don't know everything. Like that's how I go into work.
Absolutely.
Everything. I mean, but a lot of people don't. Like they think they know everything. I got this, but yada yada yada. Like I know with me, when my managers come around at my actual job, like I'm like, I just kind of, I try to still be personable and like still talk, but I also at the same time I'm just like listening. Like I'm just like quiet. I'm like trying to just take in what they're telling me and everything, because there might be say something that I had no idea about. They might mention a product I don't know about or a new technique. Like it's a fine line. Like I try to shut up more when I'm with my higher ups, because I'm just trying to learn. And I've had them ask me like, you good today? Like a few times, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just with you guys. I'm trying to just like absorb what the fuck's going on right now.
Gotcha.
And that's something I would say is key with anything, job, class,
life,
internship, everything, life, and relationship, everything. You gotta take a second to listen. You're like,
and like for me, like obviously, like that I'm taking a complete different path than what I expected.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I've got nothing but learning to do at this point for me. Yeah. Yeah, let's just leave in the middle of the podcast, dude. It's messed up, bro.
All right, go ahead.
But it's just, and Jack, if you didn't know this, I actually just signed a contract to get into sales.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
Definitely. Yeah, well, it is a contract. It is a contract for me. For you, it's a job. For me, it's a contract. But
I mean, what the fuck does that mean? For you,
saying,
it's a job. For me, it's a contract.
Because
uh-oh.
Because
what the fuck does that mean?
There we
bro,
go.
okay, look.
Not in a bad way, but I'm just curious.
I'm 1099, so I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
I'm on a contract. Like I'm a contractor for this company. You're not. You're on salary.
Right, I guess.
Yeah, so that's the difference. I signed a contract.
Yeah,
you sign a contract every company you sign on there.
Yeah, to work. Yeah, whatever.
Well,
dude, I don't understand.
But it was just really weird wording.
Whatever, dude. I don't know how to explain
for you, man.
it.
Good for you. You're going into sales.
No, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Man. I'm not negating it, but I'm
sure
like,
you are, bro.
I'm not negating it at all. But I'm just like,
I never expected you to go down that route, but cool. Good for you, man.
Yeah, and for me, like I feel like it was always there for me. Because like just like my personality,
sure,
that like I felt like I was built for sales.
Okay.
And I don't think like I'm as personable as Jack is, because I know Jack will like go up to literally anybody and talk to them.
I talk to strangers at the gas station.
Yeah,
I'm just weird like that.
And he loves that.
Yeah.
And like I know like I kind of have my guard up for things like that a little bit, but I do have like that personality where I can get along with a lot of people, and so for me, like I felt like that was kind of always in my realm.
I like that. I like that, dude. Good for you.
And I like taking challenges on, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely gonna be a challenge for me. There's no doubt about it.
What are you gonna be selling?
Insurance,
Ooh.
health insurance.
Health insurance.
We rip people off left and right.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I was talking about it, dude. I was okay, like, and I'm not saying
saying
that
you're
it's-
wrong.
I'm
I'm
not
not
saying
saying
that
you're wrong,
okay?
but
But
got a predisposed condition.
But
Can't get it.
okay, but at the end of the day,
Love it.
end of the day, dude, the companies that are making the most money is insurance and banks.
Really?
Banks run everything,
Yeah.
so they throw them out.
Yeah, you know,
Insurance kind of runs a good show too.
They
I mean,
do.
you could say they run the show, but
They
they have
make
to
a
put their
lot
money
of money.
somewhere, aka a bank. So banks really run the show. But yeah. I mean, it'll be hard to turn around like the American healthcare system because the insurance companies and such are just ginormous. I don't think people realize how big
No.
they are.
no,
Huge.
you don't realize it. Absolutely not.
No, not at all. And then not only that, like what they cover, how they cover it,
Yeah.
how they're tied with pharmaceuticals
At the end of the
and
day,
other
you just know-
doctors and shit like that.
At the end of the day, you just know that you want to have health insurance because you don't want to have to go to get your fucking balls checked out by your doctor and have to pay $2,500 for that shit.
Do you think we should have healthcare for all?
That's a hard one, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's a hard one because I'm very.
We asked the tough questions on the LYFE podcast.
Yeah,
We
so,
asked the tough
okay,
ones.
We asked the
yeah,
tough questions.
So for me, like politically, I'm very much
You don't
you
have to. I'm
Okay.
gonna stop right away. I'm gonna stop right there before we go to it. You don't have to reveal your political
no,
identity
no,
at all.
I'm not, but like
I'm
I
very.
mean,
I'm in the middle. I'm independent.
yeah.
I've mentioned it
well,
on the podcast though.
well,
You
like,
two
for me,
don't have to if you
yeah,
don't
I
want.
know, I know. For me, I'm very much like okay, like whatever you do, that affects you, right?
Yeah.
I, like what I do shouldn't
Yeah,
have to
accountability.
affect other people,
Right.
right? So yeah, I'm very much in that accountability
Realm.
sort of realm,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So
I
like,
like how I'm just finishing this.
So-
word. I'm such an
I love
ass
it.
over here. Go ahead. though.
yeah, but like so healthcare for everyone. Like I know like everybody should be healthy, but at the same time, you know, like look at me, right? I chew,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
So I
join the club.
know that like if I use tobacco or like if I smoke, that like it's not fair for me to expect you to be able to pay for my medical bills, right? Because I choose to do this.
Damn. Yeah, I've never thought of it that way.
At the end of the day, I choose to do this, right? I choose to go do whatever the fuck I do that could possibly get me hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I might not necessarily choose to get sick, but
That's true.
at the end of the day, it's like, okay,
I've never thought of it in that sense.
exactly, and that's
But
like,
I like the analogy with the smoking.
yeah, and that's
Yeah,
the
because
other
you
thing.
choose to. Why should I pay for your lung
Exactly.
issues?
So, and the other thing is like, so based on a lot of insurance companies now, like you get a lot of breaks based on your health, you know, so like you get a health assessment.
Yeah.
So on the health assessment, like if you tell them you smoke, and like a lot of times, like some people can't control if they're diabetic. Obviously, like if you control your eating, you probably can,
Sure.
you know. But like at the same time, when you are diabetic or like when you are a smoker, your insurance rate has to go up because you're at higher risk.
Right.
So like if you're at higher risk than everybody else, you know, why should everybody else who's not going to see a doctor every week have to pay for your medical bills? And that's kind of how I see it. But I also, from like that pre-med kind of standpoint, for me, it's not like, yeah, everybody should have access to healthcare regardless of,
So what I'm hearing is like a baseline.
yeah,
Everyone gets a baseline. If you want to pay for more, you pay for more type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think there should be some type of blend. I don't know how they'll manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should do something with like healthcare for everybody as a baseline, and then it's got to be like a blended of healthcare for everyone and insurance. Because
Well,
like there's
like-
people who like, yeah, you make more, so if you want to pay for more, go ahead and pay for more
yeah.
type of shit.
But like even like I think like even something as small as like a free semi-annual checkup, just to know where your health's at. You know,
I don't
like-
think that's a bad thing at
like
all.
you get your cholesterol checked, you
Yeah.
get your height and weight checked by
some blood
by a
work done and-
professional. You know,
Yeah.
And if that's covered by the government or however it be, or covered by your insurance fully, then like that's something that should be put in for people, because then like they know like what their health risks are.
Like an annual health assessment.
Yeah, or semi-annual
Or
every 6 months.
semi-annual,
You know,
yeah.
like because like I don't know, like for me, I go see the dentist every 6 months. You know, a
Naturally.
lot of people don't have access to that.
That's true.
I know a lot of people who don't get to go see a dentist every 6 months. So like obviously I'm blessed for that, but at the same time, like if everybody can go get a checkup on their height and weight, and you know like their cholesterol levels, whatever the fuck could be going on, you know, just any type of checkup where it's orthopedic or whatever it is, and it would really, I feel like it would really help the healthcare system, because if the government pays for the time of the doctor, which it probably doesn't even have to be a doctor to do like your height and weight and your cholesterol levels, or it could be an RN. So you
But
can
a
have
licensed medical healthcare
yeah,
professional.
you can have a license, you can have a registered
Not your
nurse
average
do that
Joe.
shit.
Somebody.
But
It's
yeah,
me. I walk in. I'm like, hey, what's going on?
the thing is, like, at the end of the day, they still get
Take
paid.
your cholesterol.
At the end of the day, they still get paid, and then you also get that information on your health to know, like, okay, I need to start exercising more. You know, I need to start eating healthier.
Yeah.
And
True.
and then I think in the long run that would help out with like that debate between should everybody have free healthcare.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, I don't know how they would do it. I think there should be some type of blended way of doing it. I don't think it's blanket. I think it's pretty like bad to blanket it and say everybody gets the same, and I also think it's very blanket in saying like what we have now, because obviously there's a ton at the bottom that are left behind right now, and then vice versa. So there's a way we can meet in the middle. I don't know what that is, but I would be willing to ponder it one day. Not right now. Gentlemen, we're about an hour-ish in here.
Are we really?
You know,
Jeez.
Time flies when you're having fun.
yeah,
it does.
I'm glad to have you guys on. I'm glad to have 2 guests on. I don't usually get 2 guests on.
It's always fun every time we come in the
Double
studio.
trouble,
When the
baby.
first time we had
Time.
double trouble going. All right, gentlemen.
Thanks for listening.
Deuces.
Peace.